It is my privilege to introduce a leader whose career reflects service, resilience, and an unwavering commitment to mission and country. The Honorable Hung Cao, Acting Secretary of the Navy, serves as the Department of the Navy's Chief Operating Officer and Chief Management Officer, overseeing nearly 1 million sailors, Marines, and civilian personnel with an annual budget exceeding $250 billion. He entered Navy as a seaman recruit and ultimately commissioned as a Special Operations Officer. As a Navy diver and explosive ordnance disposal officer, he led missions around the world, supporting special warfare and special operations with multiple deployments to Iraq, Afghanistan, and Somalia. He retired as a captain after a distinguished career that included sensitive operations in support of combatant commanders. He is a dedicated combat veteran and continues to serve at the highest levels today. His career reflects the very high values that we honor tonight: courage, professionalism, and commitment to those beside him. Sir, we're happy to have you with us. Please join me in welcoming the Secretary of the Navy, the Honorable Hung Cao.
April and I are so happy to be here with you guys. We feel like we're back at home, and it feels great. First, I want to thank Greg for your leadership these past 6 years. And Leon, we expect cheaper wine. But all of our warriors here, but especially to the Gold Star families. Look, usually I start something off with a joke, but the problem is that I tend to trigger all these people no matter what I say. I can introduce myself to them and they're like, what does he mean when he says he's hung? You know, what's that supposed to mean? It's like, so. So I'm gonna spare those blue-haired ladies and those kids sitting in their mom's basement tonight and not make any jokes. But I do want to talk to you about something serious, something that's been on my heart for a long time. I want to share something with you that's extremely personal to me. When I left the Navy, I wasn't going to really submit any of my disability paperwork. I thought I was fine and that everything was fine. I convinced myself that because I made the choice to subject my body to wear and tear, that I didn't deserve to file for disability since it seemed like a handout. I proudly raised my hand to be a deep sea diver and an EOD tech. I happily jumped out of planes, rappelled out of helicopters, blew things up. It came with street creds, short shorts. And at 25, I couldn't have imagined how those things would affect my mind, my body, and my soul. While we face threats in the Middle East and Asia, we also face an ever-present enemy that rests within each of us. That enemy is the enemy of the mind. We've lost more warriors, more EOD warriors to suicide than any community in the military. Think about that. EOD is one of the smallest communities in the entire military. We are relentless warriors. It requires precision and intelligence and a whole lot of badassness. But the toll it's taken has become a statistic, and that statistic is not getting smaller, it's getting bigger. I'm grieving for those we've lost, and I feel a tremendous sense of responsibility to turn the tide of suicide in the Navy Marine Corps. Primarily with the assistance of my wife, and with the help of good friends, but mainly my wife, I got evaluated at the National Intrepid Center of Excellence, NICO. You see, my wife saw changes in me that I didn't, and she loved me enough to tell me. I put in my paperwork, I went to NICO, and completed all the evaluations, and I was diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, PTSD, and a host of other physical ailments that will make walking in my 60s a challenge. And that's right around the corner. This is like 5 years away. I hide it well, but it hurts. The surgeries kept coming. I can't seem to exercise without pulling, straining, or ripping something. that was already broken or fixed. And while my efforts to remain a sexy beast are a challenge, it's my mind that brings the most frustration. I wanted to pretend it away, to ignore the ways that my mind and my body had started betraying me many years ago. But now I understand that making accommodations is not weakness. It is a stark lesson of the reality of service. For 3 years running for office, person after person would come up to me after a stump speech or a debate and immediately offer me advice. If you ever run for office, everybody thinks they're a consultant, even though they've never ever run before. The advice was always this. Every single time, day after day, I was implored to get a speech coach. Try not to sound so nervous all the time. Brush up on the topics more because it seems like you don't know what you're talking about. People thought I was completely unprepared for debates and interviews, even though I spent hundreds of hours with talented professionals who invested hundreds of hours and who believed in me. And I knew the issues and I had the plan. But at the end of the day, all I wanted to do was scream. Because I knew what I wanted to say, it would just not come out the way I wanted or needed it to. Sometimes the answers come out too fast or too slow. People wondered why I paused so much in the middle of a thought. How could I respond to criticism? Anything other than sounding like a smooth-talking, slick politician sounded more like an excuse. So I chose to say nothing. I swallowed it all and bit it back the only way I knew how, with some humor. I stutter now sometimes because my brain was rattled so often that things just don't always keep up in real time. The explosions that used to make me feel like I was going to throw up, the intense pressure waves, they left my brain scarred, and it will always carry the consequences of that with me forever. My eyes don't work the same either. Not because they're slanted, just because it's just... Bright lights are hard. And I often have my campaign team request venues who hosted a debate or a speech to dim the lights. Otherwise, I would find it hard to concentrate and my stutter would get worse. I would blink fast when I talk because the effort has changed. NICO taught me new ways to read, to improve the ability to process information, and when I needed it, therapy gave me an outlet for the years spent in the desert defusing bombs or underwater recovering bodies. The funny thing is that I speak 3 languages. And even though I don't speak with an accent, English is more challenging now than it was years ago. I actually prefer French because I learned it as a kid in Africa. But even then, I still stutter. I listened in silence to the public ridicule that said I was not intelligent enough to serve in office or must not have the grasp on the English language. All because the job I loved and the country I was willing to die for changed me in ways I could not have predicted. You cannot see my scars, but they're there. But as you can see, I haven't let it stop me. I would rather try and fail and try again than give in to the voices that continue to tell me I'm not good enough. I'm proud of my service. I would not trade anything that I have, even for all the money in the world, than to stand side by side with you again and again. If I don't keep going, if we don't keep going, what am I teaching my 5 children and my beautiful granddaughter? That perfection is only the acceptable standard? That to be whole, we must be without defect? I reject that for you, I reject that for me, and I absolutely reject that for my family. We're more than our worst days, and we're more than the invisible scars we carry. They matter, but they don't matter more than the heart and the soul of who you are. I now have the honor of serving America's sons and daughters in a different way. I wanted to share these struggles with you because I want you to hear from me when I tell you that those dark days do not define you. What we went through changed us. It broke us into pieces, and we had to learn to put them back together. When the war we fight now is in our mind, I know the trauma. I know the pain. I know the frustration and the heartbreaks your families endured, and the resentment they often felt, and the guilt you have when your kids were hurting and you couldn't be there for them. I know your kids cried for you at night. I know the milestones you missed. I know the angers you sometimes bear in silence because you can feel unfair. I want to encourage you, not just my fellow EOD brothers and sisters, but your families as well, that while the sacrifice came at a cost, your actions now pave the way for a new generation of warriors to carry on the legacy of honor, courage, and commitment. I'm here to remind you that you're worth fighting for. If you're struggling, it's time to find people who will come alongside you so you can begin to heal. I've been torn apart, my character, my integrity assassinated in every public place imaginable, but nothing compares to the voices that do nothing but convince you that you're better off gone. Know this, the devil is a liar. Your brokenness does not diminish the blessing you are to the people who love you and the country that still needs you. When I was the Undersecretary of the Navy, I immediately established a task force to address active duty suicide with ferocity. Right now, we're working to establish crisis intervention training for all leaderships in the Navy, in the Marine Corps, from your basic NCO all the way up to Command Leadership School, and everything in between. Currently, bases across the country are in the beginning stages of implementing this initiative, and it is my goal to make this not just a service-wide, but across the entire military. My philosophy is simple. Every sailor and Marine should be treated like a sophisticated weapons system. We need to take care of them. We must endeavor to equip our service members physically, mentally, and spiritually. Secretary Hegseth has committed to expanding a chaplain program, which I intend to fully utilize as the tip of the spear for combating suicide, along with comprehensive crisis intervention training for all leadership. We must also strive to instill resilience in this generation that, for their tremendous aptitude in technology and ingenuity, struggles to handle failure or see it as an opportunity for growth. It is my solemn duty and honor to equip and train the most lethal, capable, and healthy fighting force in the history of our nation. The EOD Warrior Foundation is committed to these same principles and stands at the ready to support you and your family as you find healing and purpose. They are a model of holistic intervention and excellence, so families have a safe place to hope for a brighter future. Use them. Their resources have helped hundreds of families reclaim joy and purpose. Do not wait to ask for help or be the help for someone else. All of us raised our right hand and took an oath, not for politics, not for party, and not for personal gain. We serve because the people we love, the flag we defend, and the brothers and sisters standing next to us. That doesn't end when we take off the uniform. I'll leave you simply with this. Whatever your stutter is, own it. It's a part of you, but it does not define you. Your scars are just that, wounds covered by something new, and now you get to choose what that new is. My brothers and sisters, I'm never above you. I'm never below you. I'm always going to be beside you. I'm asking you guys, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves for the sake of your family and all of us. May God bless you all. May God bless our EOD community, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Yes, sir. We appreciate the time and the commitment that you made in coming here to us, changing events. You still made it. You supported this community. We thank you. The EOD Warrior Foundation is always in your corner. And just like you are, the rest of this community, we thank you, sir. We appreciate your being here.
I love you all. Thank you so much.